I open my eyes, but everything is blurry. I can't remember where I am or how I got here. My head is pounding, and my body feels like it's been through a storm. The air is thick with the smell of damp earth, and my clothes are soaked through, clinging to my skin. I'm lying on the cold ground, surrounded by trees that seem to stretch endlessly into the sky. I try to stand, but my legs are weak, trembling beneath me. I take a deep breath, but it feels like there's a weight on my chest, pressing down on me. Where am I? I whisper, but the words barely escape my lips. My throat is dry, and every word is a struggle. I start walking, or at least, I try to. Each step feels like I'm dragging myself through thick mud. My feet are heavy, and my mind is foggy. I can't remember anything. Not my name, not my past, nothing. All I know is that I'm alone, lost in a place that feels both familiar and strange. As I stumble through the forest, I hear something in the distance, a faint sound, like water rushing over rocks. My heart leaps with hope. Water, if I can find the water, maybe I can find my way out of here. But as I move closer to the sound, I realize that something isn't right. The air grows colder, and the shadows around me seem to grow darker. The sound of the water is now mingled with something else, something sinister, a whisper, soft and menacing, echoing through the trees. You don't belong here, the voice says, and I freeze. The hairs on the back of my neck stand on end, and fear grips my heart. I turn, looking around. But there's no one there, just the shadows, closing in on me. I start to run, but my legs are weak, and I stumble, falling to the ground. My hands scrape against the rough earth, and I feel the sting of fresh cuts. I'm shaking now, not just from the cold, but from the terror that's creeping into my bones. Please, someone, help me, I gasp, but my voice is swallowed by the darkness. The shadows seem to be alive, moving closer, surrounding me. My vision blurs, and I can feel myself slipping away, the weight of exhaustion pulling me down. And then, just as I'm about to give in, I see a light. A faint, flickering light in the distance. Hope sparks within me, and I force myself to move, crawling towards it with the last of my strength. The light grows brighter, and I feel a warmth spreading through me, chasing away the cold and the fear. But as I reach the light, I realize that it's not what I thought. It's not a fire, not a torch. It's something else, something otherworldly. A figure stands before me, bathed in the light, but their face is hidden in shadow. Who are you? I ask, my voice trembling. The figure doesn't answer. Instead, they reach out a hand, and I feel a strange calm wash over me. The pain in my body fades, and the fog in my mind lifts just enough for me to remember something, a name, my name. But before I can speak it, the figure pulls me into the light, and everything goes white. I wake up, gasping for air, back on the forest floor. The light is gone, and the shadows have receded. The pain has returned, but my mind is clearer now. I still don't remember everything, but I know one thing. I have to keep moving. I have to find out who I am, and why I'm here. With renewed determination, I stand and start walking, the memory of the light guiding me through the darkness. As I push forward, the forest begins to change, the trees thin out, and the ground beneath my feet becomes firmer, easier to walk on. The shadows still loom around me, but they feel less menacing, as if they're watching me, waiting to see what I'll do. The light that had pulled me from the brink still lingers in my mind, a beacon of hope. I focus on it, letting it guide me through the darkness. As I push forward, the forest begins to change, the trees thin out, and the ground beneath my feet becomes firmer, easier to walk on. The shadows still loom around me, but they feel less menacing, as if they're watching me, waiting to see what I'll do. The light that had pulled me from the brink still lingers in my mind, a beacon of hope. I focus on it, letting it guide me through the darkness. My steps become steadier, my resolve stronger. I'm not just walking aimlessly anymore. I'm searching for something, someone. But who? The memories are still out of reach, like fragments of a dream slipping through my fingers. But I hold on to the one thing I remember. My name. It's there, just on the edge of my consciousness, waiting to be spoken. If I can just remember. Then, through the trees, I see something new, a clearing, bathed in a soft, golden light. My heart races as I move closer, drawn to the warmth and safety it seems to promise. As I step into the clearing, the fear and cold that had gripped me fall away, replaced by a sense of peace. In the center of the clearing stands a small cottage, its windows glowing with the same golden light that fills the air. The sight is familiar, comforting, as if I've been here before. I approach the cottage, my footsteps echoing in the quiet. The door is slightly ajar, and without hesitation, I push it open. Inside, the cottage is warm and inviting. A fire crackles in the hearth, casting flickering shadows on the walls. The scent of something sweet fills the air, and I realize just how hungry and thirsty I am. But more than that, I feel a strange pull, like there's something or someone waiting for me here. I step further inside, and then I see her, a woman, sitting by the fire, her back to me. She doesn't turn as I approach, but I know she's aware of my presence. My heart pounds in my chest, and a name rises unbidden to my lips. Amara, I whisper, the name tasting both foreign and familiar on my tongue. The woman turns, and I gasp. Her face is a blur, like a reflection in a rippling pond, but her eyes are clear, shining with a warmth that reaches into the deepest parts of me. I know those eyes, they're the key to everything I've forgotten. You've come back, she says softly, her voice filled with both relief and sorrow. Back, I repeat, confusion clouding my mind again. But where was I? Who am I? Amara stands and takes a step towards me. As she does, the fog in my mind begins to lift, memories flooding back in fragments. I remember her, Amara, the woman I loved. I remember the life we shared, the home we built together in this very cottage. And then, I remember the accident, the darkness, the endless wandering. You've been lost for so long, Amara says, her voice trembling, but I've been waiting for you, keeping the light burning, hoping you'd find your way back. Tears fill my eyes as the truth finally dawns on me. I was lost not just in the forest, but in the spaces between life and death. The shadows, the fear, the pain, they were all part of the void I'd been trapped in since the accident. But Amara's light had guided me back, pulled me from the darkness, and brought me home. Amara, I say again, my voice breaking, I remember everything. She smiles, a sad, beautiful smile, and holds out her hand to me. Then come with me, she says, it's time to rest. I take her hand, and as I do, the world around us begins to fade. The forest, the shadows, the fear, all of it melts away, leaving only the warmth of the fire and the comfort of her presence. We walk together towards the light, leaving the darkness behind. As we step into the light, I feel a sense of peace unlike anything I've ever known. The pain, the confusion, the fear, they're all gone. I'm home, with Amara, where I belong, and then, everything fades to white.